Hi, my name is Sierra and I'm one of the team members here at Jersey Watch. Today we'll be discussing background checks and how to keep your players' safety top of mind. We'll be discussing a few topics such as creating a background check policy, costs associated with background checks, and how to invite candidates to complete their screenings. The first area that we're going to discuss today is creating your background check policy. So this is going to look a little bit different depending on your organization, but there are some key factors that everyone should have. The first thing that you should have in your background check policy is that everyone who comes in contact with your youth athletes should be required to have a background check done. So this could be umpires, volunteers, coaches, or even concession stand workers. The background checks are going to be about $10 per candidate, and you'll see results in a couple business days. The second item that you should have in your background check policy is making sure that everyone is completing the background check at least once a year. So our first tip was just making sure that everyone has them, and now our second tip is making sure that even with returning volunteers or coaches, they are still completing another background check. This is just going to really ensure that you are putting your players' safety first, and it's also going to make sure that you have updated records on file. The third tip is making sure that everyone who's working with your youth athletes has a background check on file prior to the first practice or event, and then actually enforce it. So you'll want to make sure that this is clearly stated on your website or just in general registration forms to make sure that people know that they cannot volunteer, coach, or even be an umpire until they have that background check on file and it's cleared. Our last recommendation when creating your background check policy is just making sure that you're posting it everywhere and that you are clearly stating what your policy is on your website or any online application. So for example, if you are requiring coaches or volunteers fill out an online form, you should have some sort of waiver to have them acknowledge that they will need to complete a background check in order to move forward with their application. You can post this on your website, online registration form, or anywhere else that makes sense for your organization. The next topic we're going to discuss is the financials of background checks. We're often asked who should pay for background checks, and we would recommend that the organization pays on behalf of the candidates. There's a couple reasons why we recommend this, and the first one is that it's relatively inexpensive. Each background check is $10 per candidate, and we would recommend incorporating this cost when you are working on your budget. It should just be considered a cost of doing business because it's required by your organization to have background checks completed. The second reason is that it just reduces barriers. Volunteers and volunteer coaches are going to be more likely to participate with your organization if you are paying for their background check. This will allow them to be able to complete their screening online without needing to get their card out, and it also just shows that you're willing to invest the money into the safety of your players. Regardless, though, you have the option to choose. So when you go to send an invitation in your Jersey Watch account, you can choose whether you want your organization to be invoiced at the end of each month or if you want the candidate to pay on your own. So there's really no right or wrong answer here, and you have the option to choose when you go to send out your first background check. The last topic we're going to cover is how to send a background check to a candidate. So the first thing you'll want to do is log into your Jersey Watch account and click on background checks. You'll then want to click invite candidate, and then you'll see information about the background check. In this example, you're then going to choose the payment method, so you can either have the candidate pay with their card, or you can have your organization be invoiced at the end of each month. As discussed, we recommend that the organization pays, so we're going to select that option. You'll then type in your candidate's first name, last name, and email address, and so in this example, we are going to enter this information now. Once you click invite, you're going to see the confirmation screen and that the background check will be sent to the person's email address and that it will be completed within a few days. So you'll then click OK, and you'll see now an updated information. So the invitation has been sent to Sarah, and you'll be able then to check back in a couple days to see if the invitation now says clear. Thank you for listening to our video on all things background checks for youth sports. If you have any questions or want to start running background checks of your own, you can head to www.jerseywatch.com or send us an email to help@jerseywatch.com. Thank you.